One repays a teacher badly if one always remains nothing but a pupil. I have returned, not as a teacher, not as a prophet, but as a provocateur, a disturber, a voice among the ruins of inherited wisdom. What is this return? A reawakening? A revaluation? A dangerous experiment? Perhaps all of these things. Perhaps none. It is fitting that we begin with an ending. For I already know now how this journey must conclude. It will end where all true things end, with an affirmation, an acceptance, a reckoning with the self. And yet, that is not the point. The point is the path itself, the labyrinth of thought, the unmooring of certainties, the audacity to think without guardrails. The journey is what matters, and it is what will transform us. What is this return about? This is not just a return to Nietzsche. It is a return to the dangerous art of thinking for oneself. It is a challenge, a provocation, a fire that demands to be met with fire. Because Nietzsche was never a philosopher of peace. He did not write to be understood. He wrote to be felt, to be experienced, to be set aflame within the reader's soul. His books are not mere arguments. They are living organisms, pulsating with tension, contradiction, and the raw materials of human will. And so let us dispense with the safe academic approach. Nietzsche must not be dissected like a cadaver. He must be confronted, wrestled with, challenged, and ultimately transcended. We must risk something in engaging with him, because if we do not, we have not truly read him. This channel has always been about Nietzsche, philosophy, and psychology. But now we will go further. We will explore Nietzsche as the psychologist he truly was, the greatest psychologist, the one without peer, the one who saw deeper than Freud, further than Jung, beyond the reach of modern therapy. And yet we must be careful. Nietzsche is no guru, no saint, no comforting hand on the shoulder. He does not offer solace, he offers the abyss. The question is, will you stare back? What can this journey teach us? We begin with a paradox. Nietzsche, the thinker of freedom, has been caged by his interpreters. Academics have pinned him down like an insect beneath glass. They have named him, categorized him, footnoted him, filed him neatly into the annals of Western thought. But Nietzsche was not an academic. He loathed their methods, their cautious prose, their disembodied theorizing. His words were dangerous, alive, written in blood and aphorisms, not to be memorized, but to be felt, lived, and suffered through. So what do we do with him? Do we turn him into a doctrine? A system? A neat collection of principles? No, we experience him. Because Nietzsche's true message is not found in definitions, but in confrontation. And so, here is what we will explore. 1. Nietzsche as a psychologist, not just a philosopher. The examiner of human weakness, the destroyer of comforting illusions, the champion of will. 2. The will to power, not as an authoritarian dogma, but as a fundamental principle of life, a force that drives all things to overcome themselves. 3. Eternal recurrence, not as a metaphysical claim, but as a challenge. Would you affirm your life so deeply that you would live it over and over again, eternally? 4. The Übermensch, not as a political fantasy, but as an existential goal, the self-created being, the one who stands beyond morality, beyond resentment, beyond the herd. These are not abstract ideas. They are weapons. They are tools. They are hammers. We do not discuss them in the way one discusses a historical figure. We use them to break ourselves apart, to reforge our understanding, to destroy what is weak within us. Why does this matter? Because we live in an age of second-hand existence. Because most people do not think they inherit. Because the modern world is sterile, comforting, sedated. Nietzsche rips us out of that sedation. He forces us to ask the only questions that matter. 1. Are you truly alive? 2. Or are you merely existing? 3. Are your values your own, or have they been implanted into you? 4. Are you strong enough to create meaning, or are you still clinging to borrowed myths? Nietzsche was not a philosopher of despair. He was not a nihilist nor a pessimist. No, Nietzsche was an affirmation, a yes shouted against the void, a warrior's cry against all who would diminish life. But he does not give you the answers. He gives you the task, and that task is becoming who you are. Do you even know who you are? Or have you merely been molded by culture, by morality, by the whispers of the weak and the fearful? Nietzsche dares you to look in the mirror and see not what is comfortable, but what is true. He challenges you to stand up, to take the hammer, to break the old idols, not just in the world but within yourself. What is the point? The point is not to understand Nietzsche in the way one understands a lecture or a theory. The point is to experience him, to feel his words crack open the stagnant parts of your mind. Nietzsche did not want followers. He wanted fighters. He wrote not to be worshipped, but to be overcome. So this is my challenge to you. Are you ready? Ready to think dangerously? Ready to burn away old illusions? Ready to see, to feel, to experience Nietzsche as he was meant to be experienced, as a hammer, as a fire, as a force that breaks you open and leaves you gasping for air? Or will you turn away? Will you retreat to comfort, to safety, to the predigested Nietzsche of textbooks and footnotes? The choice is yours, but if you are ready, truly ready, then let us begin.